constitutional threshold as required by Section 33(2) of the County Government Act. I yield the floor to my colleague.
For the record, my name is Kigen, Counsel for the Governor. And the nature of my submissions will be more towards the aspects of facts. And Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, we hold the position that the governor has responded to the factual allegations of the claims made by the County Assembly, and that is captured in his affidavit, volume 1, the affidavit in volume 1, page 1 to 31. And the allegations that had been raised by the County Assembly are 9, and all of them have been answered. It relates to management of a program called NAF-CDP, FLOCA, Kasim Tani, Strategic Intervention Projects, Londiani accident, dismissals, subversion of County Assembly activities, and bullying. All those issues we've answered, and we pray that the senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, they be looked at as answer to the allegations. Now, in more particular, I would like to say this. The allegations are in 2 categories. The first category is old complaints that were brought here before you in September 2024. And the second set are new claims raised by a report made on 5th of August 2025, and attendant to which an impeachment motion was initiated on 6th of August 2025. In respect to the old complaints, which is constituted of these particular 3 items, the first one is the issue of Kasim Tani. The second one is the issue of Londiani accident. The third one is the issue of private land. Our first attack on that, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that the standing orders of Kericho County prohibited and prohibits the need to consider those allegations. The standing order number 70A, subsection 2, is to this effect. Despite paragraph 1, probably I should read from paragraph 1 for context, 70A says this: a motion by any member for the removal of a county governor by impeachment may be reintroduced in the County Assembly on the expiry of 90 days from the date of a vote by the Senate. Subsection 2 is to this effect. Despite paragraph 1, a motion for removal of a county governor by impeachment may be reintroduced in the County Assembly on other grounds other than the initial grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment proceedings. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, I put a lot of premium and emphasis on the use of the word grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is our contention, contrary to what Honorable Rogon said when he was testifying, that to the extent to which those grounds were captured in the motion, were moved in the County Assembly, were debated in the County Assembly, were voted for, and were brought here. To the extent that those things happened, they had fitted into that word of highlighting. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, it is our submission that indeed it should not be here. However, I would like also to make supplementary comments about those allegations in our defense. I would like to start with the issue of Kasim Tahani. And my learned friends for the County Assembly said that the Kasim Tahani was rolled out without proper legislation and that some funds were lost. May I just explain that Kasim Tahani was a concept where the Kericho County Executive proposed that successful bidder contractors were obligated to engage local youths and women so that they would benefit from the contracts that were run in their neighborhoods. And so the payments for the youths and the women was to be paid from the remuneration or the payments due to those contractors. So it's not like it was funds from the county. Absolutely not. It was funds that were payable as part of the contract money. In that situation then, there was no need for any policy, there was no need for any legislation to have been in place. So that's our first answer to that allegation. The second explanation that we have is that indeed in our response both in September 2024 and in this time round, we explained and provided lists of youths and women who are paid on those projects. We are aware that similarly the County Assembly, through the committee that purported to investigate, came with a list of youths and women. And our position is that there is nobody owed, and if there is any amount that is owed, they should go to those contractors. But significantly related to that that allegation that there are some people who have been deprived of their due payment, it is our contention that the Senate is not the forum for their claim for labor rights. If they had any complaint about their rights for work done, they should have gone to labor court or should have reported to the police or even gone to civil court. And to that extent, therefore, Honorable Senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, we are contending that the issue of Kassim Mutai'S as a ground for impeachment is a red herring. The issue of Londiani accident, we already explained, and I would like to explain again, that it was the committee and the activities of that committee were in the hands of central government. They were not in the hands of the county government. And the person who was chairing those proceedings was the county commissioner. The signatories to the accounts was the county commissioner and members of those committees. And Mr. Speaker, sir, when I asked the question to the witness who came to bring that issue, he admitted that indeed the governor did not sit in that committee, was not a signatory to those accounts, and there is nowhere where he is associated with those funds. It is also significant that the witness says that much as these things happened in 2023, they have not deemed it necessary to complain either to EACC or DCI or to any other entity if they were aggrieved about these funds. And so it is our contention that this issue has been brought solely for purposes of injuring the good name of the governor. Two last issues I wish to mention about this Kassim Mutai'S issue and Londiani is that they relate to the period, the financial year 2022-2023. And Mr. Speaker, sir, as we pointed out when we asked the questions to the witness who came to testify on this issue, it is true that it is not captured in the Auditor General's reports, so that if it were to be the case that indeed any money was lost or there was any impropriety, our expectation is that it would have been captured. The fact that it is not captured is an indication that indeed these allegations are completely baseless. I would like then to come to the allegations that were brought to the County Assembly on 5th of August 2025. And before I discuss the particulars of our defense in respect to that, I would like again to invite the Honorable Senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, to the point we made in regard to that issue. The first one we made was that the governor was not given an opportunity to react and act on those reports. And the witness admitted that the reports were made on or around 5th of August 2025, and the motion, actually, let me correct myself. He said the reports were brought into the Assembly on 5th of August. And those reports provided for a period on average of 28 days within which the governor was to act. However, the next day, before the expiry of the 28 days, and in fact before the expiry of even 1 day, on the 6th of August, the impeachment motion was initiated. And it is our contention that that is an indication of bad faith and political motivation in this impeachment initiative. It is our contention also that if the governor were to be looked at as having failed in his oversight role, he needed to have gotten time to act and to have failed to have acted. Now, discussing the various items of those new allegations relating to NAV, CDP, FLOCA, and strategic infrastructural projects, the allegations of dismissals, we would like to explain that particularly FLOCA and NAV CDP are projects that are foreign funded. They are donor funded projects. Each of those projects have clear budget lines, they have clear work plans, they have cascaded means of ensuring that there is accountability, both even on issues of procurement and audits of works done. And to the extent, therefore, that the works are going on and that subsequent works cannot proceed until the previous one has been audited and accounts provided, to the extent, therefore, that those works are still going on, is an indicator that those projects are in good shape. However, the governor takes the position that if it were to be the case that there is any impropriety, he needs time to look at it and to act on them. But otherwise, he insists that there is no impropriety, and that if there were any improprieties, the donors who are supporting these projects would have raised it. The complainants who have come to you would have even written to the EACC, which they have not done. On the other projects, including the strategic intervention projects, the issues of contract, the issues of procurements, the issue of splitting contracts, the issue of public address, the issue of tents, and the other house renovations, Mr. Speaker, sir, the governor maintains that he needed time to look at it and to act. The fact that the report by the committee came on 5th and he was being impeached on 6th is such that it deprived him of an opportunity to counter-check the allegations contained in those reports and to have acted. But collateral to that, the governor in his affidavit has explained that indeed he has already handed over documents related to, or rather he has instructed his people to hand over the documents related to those projects to the EACC for further investigations. And may I say also related to the old cases, that is Kasim Tani and Londiani, the governor has also, the issues are under investigation by EACC. And secondly, through the witnesses, we were able to show that most of the people who were involved in those activities, in those projects, have been either subjected to disciplinary proceedings and some have been required to retire. And for those reasons, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is our contention that there is no nexus whatsoever between any improprieties related to funds, procurements, and the other allegations raised between the governor and those situations. I would like to address this issue of the private property the same way we did when we raised it at the outset. The property that is being referred to is not private property, it is public property. And governor insists that it is private property and is determined to recover it. There is the contention and purport that there is a court determination saying that that is a private property. As we pointed out, and consequent to our pointing out, the county assembly has shied away from showing you the judgment. The decision that was made by the court was that the ground should not be used as a dumping ground until a NEMA certification is obtained. There is nowhere where it is said that it is private property. And even if the county assembly, in its totality, were to try to team up with this person who is trying to grab public property and use impeachment as a threat to the governor to cede the quest to recover the land, the governor is determined to recover the public land. Now, I would like then to answer a few questions that have been raised, especially in the course of the submissions today. The first one is the issue that my learned friend, Mr. Ongoya, has extensively referred to, the issues of the joint affidavits, one by both Martin and Edna, and the other one by the 18 MCS. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I had earlier on taken the position that it is proper to have signed a joint affidavit. However, even if it were to be the case that there is any impropriety or any compromise of the impact of those affidavits by reason of joint signing, it is our position that each of those witnesses came here, took an oath, and testified. That is good enough to supplement any shortcomings in those affidavits, and that their testimony is solid to the extent to which they took oath and testified here. The allegations of negative comments made in reference to Geoffrey Bett are denied, and in the course of the testimony of Mr. Geoffrey Bett, he agreed that he has not taken any action if he was aggrieved. He has not complained to the Public Service Board, who are his employers. He has not reported to any police station. He has not reported to any labor court. He has not reported to any civil court. He has not taken out any constitutional action. And therefore, it is our position that it is not true. And if it were true, he would have taken action. And as honorable senators may have seen, he clearly was strongly willed. And if indeed it was true that these allegations were true, then he would have already made a complaint. The other argument that has been made by my learned colleagues for the county assembly is that by reason of not calling these witnesses, the governor is shielding them. As we have explained, in respect to the old cases, Kasim Tani, Londiani, and the others, the governor has taken action. In respect to these complaints that arose on 5th of August, attendant to which he was process of impeachment started on 6th of August, he needs time to look at them, and he couldn't rush into, it can't be said that he's shielding them because he needs time to have looked at it and determine if there is any issues and deal with them. And then my learned friend, Mr. Ongoya, made a very funny comment saying that there is a certain impropriety in the governor meeting the MCS. It is our position that there is absolutely no impropriety in the possibility of leaders meeting. And there is the contention, therefore, that the governor met some MCS is completely misplaced. Now, I would like to say a few more things before I go to the next step. The first one is to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, on our preliminary objection, that there is unanimity on all the three experts on the two most material issues. The first one is that they are all unanimous that they cannot confirm whether the three MCS voted. They cannot confirm that. Now, when you juxtapose that with the affidavit of the developer of the software, Mr. Alfred Korir, at page 23, at paragraph 23, sorry, where he says it is simple, accurate, verifiable, particularly emphasis on the use of the words verifiable, secure, and accurate. To the extent, therefore, that he intended this system to be verifiable and accurate, to the extent that we cannot determine who the three MCS, whether or not the three MCS voted, to the extent that we cannot do that, it is true then that this paragraph is bailed out. It is not true that that system was verifiable. The second thing that they are all agreed on the other thing that the witness agreed on is that indeed the records of the county assembly contain details of the payroll and ID numbers for the various MCS, and that if somebody was determined to get them, especially within the establishment of the county assembly, they could get them. With those, in that context, therefore, it is our contention that indeed it was possible for somebody else to vote, and that the three experts admit that if you get those credentials, you could vote. So that there are those two admissions, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators. Number one, that with the credentials, anybody could have voted for those MCS. And number two, that they are not able to trace back those three votes to the three MCS. Now, the last thing I wish to say, as I spare a few minutes for my client, is that we would like, honorable senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, that you take on board these as you consider the propriety of that system that was used to vote. Number one, we pointed out in the course of testimony that indeed the answer has been edited. It has been edited so that it is not consistent with the audio recording of the events. Number two, it is true that a few minutes before the movement of the motion on 6th of August, by the mover of motion, who, as we cross-examined him, we maintain is in collusion with the Speaker, 6 MCAs, there was an attempt to remove 6 MCAs with a view to reducing the numbers or otherwise to intimidate them to support the impeachment of the governor. Number 3 is the question that indeed there was an option to do a roll call voting. Nobody, not even my learned colleagues for the county assembly, have explained why they could not just take a straight and simple process that could have resolved the issue. And for all those reasons, and then the rush to set up this thing at night and to insist on using it, even when the nays, I'd say, were louder than the ayes. For all those reasons, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, we pray as a first line of our prayers that you do find that the system was not adequate to satisfy you that any voting took place and that the 2/3 threshold was met. As a second line, we pray that you do find that indeed no evidence and no material and no grounds have been adduced adequate to place a requirement on you to impeach the governor. With that said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have 4 more minutes. I would like to request my client to just say a few minutes within that time limit.